Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Uncle Jey Man, back here today with a very small haul video. As you may or may not know, earlier this week, and by that I mean Sunday the 20th and Monday the 21st, there were two major wrestling theme events that took place here in New York. Sunday at the UBS Arena, it was TNA Slammiversary, and then the next night at Citifield, where the Mets play, they had WWE night, and I went to both of them. I picked up a couple of items from both, and I can't wait to show it to you right here, right now. And I'm going to save the best for last. So the first thing I have was from the TNA show. See the bag? As you may or may not know, once again, I do try to get the programs for the wrestling events I go to, but I was able to get this. It's different from the other programs, like from AEW, WWE. This one's very small, and it doesn't have a lot of meat on the bone, if you catch my drift, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. So now I have a TNA program, I have WrestleMania programs, I have an NXT program, and I have an AEW program. So on the cover we have Joe Hendry, I met that guy last year, the Hardys, which is the shirt I got, more on that in a little bit, Masha Slamovich, the now former women's knockout champion, Mike Santana, and the former Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. There's a re-up right here about Slammiversary. And what's really cool about this, like with WrestleMania, here are the different posters from every single Slammiversary from 2005 to 2024. And here are the wrestlers of TNA. I'm not sure if it's all of them or just the most notable. There are definitely a lot of familiar faces. And this is it. Like I said, not a lot of meat on the bone, but it's cool for what it's worth. And I'm actually wearing the Hardy's shirt. I'll put a picture of it right now. Funny story. When I went to get a Joe Hendry shirt, I went on the usual, or tried to go on the usual line. The line was so long, they had a line for the line. And I've been to the UBS Arena many times now for AEW, I think WWE, and other stuff. I have never seen that before, especially for TNA, a line for the line. I found a different line for another merch stand, and that line, I think, was shorter. I went on it. They didn't have as much as the other one. By the time I got there, I asked for that special Joe Hendry shirt, and they sold out at my size. So I had to think quick, what do I get? I don't want to hold up the line. So I said, get me the Hardy shirt. And I'm glad I got it, because they won their match. But now, on to the next item, and that is from the Mets game. Fun fact about me and the Mets, I have not been to a Mets game since it was Shea Stadium, the old Mets Stadium, which was a long, long time ago, practically in a galaxy far, far away. And the last time I was at Citifield, coincidentally, was for a wrestling event. Mind blown. But when they announced WWE night for Citifield, I couldn't pass it up. Especially, according to my brother, the newest owners of Citifield, or the Mets, don't remember, really stepped it up, because nowadays, you have to really be all-inclusive. And I don't mean in that way. I meant like you have to get a broader appeal to get people to come to certain things now. Like big box stores. That's why when I went, You saw not only Mets fans, you saw wrestling fans. It was so surreal to see sports fans for baseball and sports entertainment fans for wrestling in the same place. It was like, once again, mind blown. And in my opinion, it was a very successful night. And the Mets actually scored 7-5. And they were getting their asses clobbered for most of the game. They had a come from behind victory. They had the Mets players, they would have them photoshopped onto wrestlers' bodies. When the Mets would score 2 strikes on somebody, they would play the 2 strikes graphic, but also the Undertaker's gongs. When the game was about to start, they played Triple H's theme song, and then later they played Shawn Michaels' theme song. Had Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax there. And I am not a sports fan. I don't like watching sports or anything. But for someone like me to go there and say, I had such a good time, I kind of want to do it again. That's what you do. That's what you got to do. But I'm going off track here. Let's go back to the goodies. Since it was WWE night, there were some WWE goodies to get. One that was part of the ticket, and one was something you can get in the gift shop. And here's the thing in the gift shop. This homage New York Mets WWE night championship plate belt shirt. Pretty cool, right? H for homage, which is a very good t-shirt company. And last, but definitely not least, one of the things that the Mets, Citifield, or whatever do the best are their bobbleheads. Usually it's Mr.met, sometimes it's Mrs. Met. But either way, it's awesome. And this one I have in my hand will make you say, yeet. That's right. It's a yeeting Mr.met bobblehead. Too bad Jey Uso wasn't there, but he did endorse it. Here's a closer look at the packaging. Mr.met is yeeting. WWE logo, Mets logo, same on the sides. Company that makes it. QR code, in case you're curious. The QR code just takes you to the MLB Mets page to tell you all the upcoming games and more upcoming special events. But let's now open up the box and take Mr. Met out. And here he is. Bobble, 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 bobble. This had a different design at first. Hopefully I can remember to put the picture up. Where his arms are straight out. But I guess because they couldn't do that and put him in the box, they changed his pose. I kind of prefer the other design, but this is still pretty cool. Unfortunately, mine has some paint defects. Arms move. Head bobbles. Yeet. Pinstripes. The ropes here are actually ropes. Like on those wrestling rings playsets. And here's the back of Mr. Met. Let's do a comparison. The only 2 bobbleheads I have. And like Weird Al, Mr. Met will be right here on my desk. Probably going to put him right there. Just got to do a little reorganization. But that is it for my haul video from this past week's pro wrestling events. Weird how they happen so close together. Tell me, what do you guys think? And wherever you're from, do the sports teams, football, baseball, whatever, do these special kind of theme nights? Do you go to them? Do you get the little goodies? Let me know down in the comments below. But until the next review I do, I will see you soon. And, just like Mr. Met, let's all eat.